Hi guys, this is Lalana. Thanks for tuning into the Sovereign Path. So today we're going to talk about this theme that keeps, I think this theme is not a theme, it just is like a natural byproduct of what happens when we're becoming more conscious, what happens when we're going through a spiritual awakening. And that is this barrage that can come on from time to time of the thought systems that don't seem to want to stop, and the conditionings, the themes, the patterns, the program that is just wanting to constantly kind of run on autopilot. Even when we're in the moment of having the awareness that I'm watching my thoughts go by, right? I'm paying attention to my thoughts. I'm the observer of my thoughts. I'm observing right now that I am not able to rein my thoughts in. I'm observing right now because I'm seeing that my thoughts are going off the chain and that they're pulling me through, different scenarios, future scenarios, past scenarios, projections, past echoes of things, old conditionings and programmings that I thought that I had already transcended, all of this sort of stuff. This is common, right? This happens all the time. And I have questions about this all the time from people who are feeling like, I can't get a handle on this. I'm fine, and then my thoughts are running away with me again, and I find myself like not being able to, come into presence, come into mind mastery, all of these sort of things. But at the same time, I'll have this person or that person saying, I'm seeing the thoughts coming in all over the time, and I'm noticing what they're saying, and I know this isn't true, and at the same time, I can't shut it down, right? So that's what this video is about. The fact that you see it, the fact that you are observing the fact that your thoughts are all over the place, the fact that you are the witness, the awareness, the conscious awareness that your thoughts are pulling you from past to present to future to back again, to old scenarios, to old themes, to old patterns, to old programs, that you notice that you're having like 3 different conversations in your mind, and this voice is talking to that voice, that you notice that you're narrating things in your mind as you're walking down the sidewalk, that you notice as you're driving in your car, that your mind is just talking about this and you're talking about this. The fact that you notice that means you've already won, right? You've already got it. Because at that point, you are the observer, you are the witness, you are the awareness, noticing that on some level, you can't get a grasp on what's going on in your mind. And so in that moment, you have already allowed yourself to disassociate from what's going on with the program, the pattern, the conditioning, the theme that's playing out in your mind, right? See, this is how this path just gets so nuanced. We're in that moment where we're feeling like we're being taken over, and at the same time, you're noticing that you're being taken over. You're noticing that you think you're being taken over by your thoughts and the program and the ego and the structure and all of that sort of stuff, right? You see what I'm saying? You're noticing it. You're seeing it. You're observing it. You are witnessing it, which means you're not it, right? This is the thing, is that, and there's that quote, I don't remember who it is at the moment, sorry, but who is noticing your thoughts? The observer, the awareness is noticing your thoughts, right? The ego isn't noticing that it's thinking. You as awareness are noticing that the ego is thinking, that the program is going on and on and on. You are the awareness, which means you have just noticed what the mind is doing, right? What the ego mind is doing, right? Does that make sense? You've already got it at that point, right? You're already seeing it at that point. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? It's when we don't notice. It's when we're on, like, I'm noticing, I've been thinking for 2 hours, and then suddenly I'm like, oh, damn. I didn't realize I've just been like going on and on and on, thinking about this and that and the other, and going down all of these rabbit holes and feeling like I'm completely suffering or out of alignment or, in pain or in this old program and whatever else, and I haven't even noticed it whatsoever. And then suddenly I'm like, oh, shit, I've been like thinking for 2 hours, right? But you didn't notice that you were thinking as you were thinking. And then you noticed it later that you were thinking, and so that's also a win that you noticed it. But if you're noticing it in the moment, right? Over and over again, you're noticing it in the moment. I can't get my thoughts to stop, Lalana. I'm like dredging up all of these things. All of this stuff is coming up to the surface and I'm seeing it. You have become the witness. You have become conscious awareness, noticing it. Right? And from that place, we shine the light in the dark, right? We shine the light on the unconscious aspects of us. We shine the light on the shadow aspects of us. That's it. That's it. That's what you're doing, right? Once you shine the light on it, once you are the observer of this going on, then it has no more traction other than the traction in that moment that you give it, right? So in that moment that you're noticing that your mind is just going off and whatever else, and your thoughts are going round and round and round, and the whole thing, pat yourself on the back. You noticed. You are noticing. You are awareness, noticing. And then in that moment that you are noticing, that is also the moment that you can disengage from any story that your mind is wanting to tell you at that point of like, oh shit, I didn't notice that I was noticing this, and now I notice that I'm noticing it. And so what does that mean that I was noticing it? Well, what does it mean if I wasn't noticing it? I don't know. And right? You noticed. That's it. You are allowing the thoughts to be there. We're not stopping thoughts. We're not stopping thinking. We're not killing the ego, right? Our conscious awareness, right? The conscious aspect of us that is awakening again, that is coming back online, that is revealing the truth of itself again through these physical avatars, is making itself known. It's stepping into the driver's seat of the car, the higher self, right? Whatever verbiage we want to use is stepping into the driver's seat of the car. You are conscious awareness now. You are aware that you are the I am presence now, experiencing your thoughts. You are aware that you are the I am presence having this experience, and that the I am presence that is you, that is expressing itself through this avatar, is thinking. Right? That's it. That's it. It's in that moment, as I said, not running off with that sentence and that sentence and that sentence and this aspect talking to this aspect and this aspect arguing with this back and blah, 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 right? You've already caught it. So your only job in that moment is to notice that you already caught it. You're not stopping the thoughts. You're noticing. You can't stop the thoughts. We're not trying to stop thoughts. We're just seeing them go by. Right? They're going to do what they do. It's what you do with them now that you're aware that you're conscious awareness. What are you doing with them? Right? Is the ego running off with them and the old conditioning and the old patterning running with them? Or are you just in the moment where you're noticing? And as you're noticing that you're thinking all the time, are you in the awareness of, this is uncomfortable that I'm thinking all the time. I don't like the way that this feels. Right? You are the conscious awareness here expressing itself through this avatar. You are the observer of your experience. And as the observer of your experience, your job is going to be noticing what's going on within your thoughts, what's going on within your external reality, what you are experiencing due to your inner world and the beliefs that you hold. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's the thing about awakening, right? Once you become aware of what you didn't see before, you can't become unaware of it again. Thoughts are the same thing. Once you can become aware that you're walking down the road thinking about the past and the future and the past and the future and this thing that happened then and this thing that happened then and maybe this will happen now and oh my God, what about the twin? Right? The mind is just going to do what the mind is going to do. It's what you do with that that matters in that moment, right? I think we get tripped up with this whole, like, I need to shut my thoughts off. I need to shut my thoughts down. I need to have just stillness all the time. I need to be in no mind all the time, right? I need to be in silence all the time or in peace all the time. But we are still having a human experience, right? And the human experience includes thought. It does include ego. It just means that those aspects that we have been experiencing are no longer running the ship, like I always say, right? They're no longer in the forefront of your reality because now you are awakening. And so, again, we feel like if the thoughts come up or if this awful thing comes up, then we need to whack it with a hammer or shut it down, or we freak out if we're feeling emotion again because that means whatever we think it means, and then we don't know how to do with it, and then the mind starts telling another story, and so then we feel like we've slipped out. But all the while, guys, if you're seeing that, then that means that you are the observer of that. Were you the observer of that when you were in the sleeping state? Were you the observer that your mind was going in 1,000 different directions before you awakened? No. That's the thing, right? That is the thing. You see the thoughts, you observe the thoughts, you're observing the thoughts. You're already doing it. You're already doing it. It's when the mind comes in and says that you're doing it wrong, or that you need to do it in a different way, or you're not allowed to have that thought, or you shouldn't think about that thing in that way, or oh, blah, 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 I shouldn't. All of that is still more belief systems that you're piling on yourself that then is creating some other story about how you're doing it wrong and you're not supposed to think, or you're not supposed to feel, or all of those sort of things, right? Dispel that, because that is not what we're doing here. We're not squashing down thoughts. We're not, hitting the ego with a hammer and trying to knock it out and stuff like that, right? We're observing these aspects of us that we have been aligning to for however long. We are observing them. And in the observation of them and in the awareness that I'm not the program, I'm not the voices in my head, I'm not the pattern that keeps running, I'm not the condition. In the awareness of that, we are doing it. We are the awareness of that. And once you are the awareness of that, then that can no longer continue to run and run and run and pull you in 1,000 different directions unless you allow it to. Unless you allow it to, right? You can allow yourself to just see the thoughts go by like waves in a river, right? Like clouds in the sky. It's the focus and the attention that you give them. right? That's what matters. The fact that you're noticing it, you're observing it, means congratulations, pat on the back. You're actually seeing what your thought systems do, right? And so instead of identifying with that and going down another bunch of rabbit holes around, oh, well, I thought this today, and what does that mean? Or, you know, maybe I'm doing it wrong, and oh God, I was da-da-da-da. Just watch. Just let it be. Stay in the present moment, let it be, and it will not continue to pull you out of alignment. It will not continue to go down all of these other streams, because you will not be giving it the focus that it wants, right? You'll not be giving it the focus. You'll just be observing, right? We need to have this awareness that, just like, say, let's give an example, maybe this isn't the best example, but just to give an example, if we're being unconditionally loving to someone else, which we need to be, who is walking their path, right? They're walking their path. We don't know what's going on their path. We're just allowing and observing other people to walk their path, whether they're awakening, whether they're asleep, whether what's ever going on, right? We're just in the allowance. We're not judging, we're not blaming. That's what you need to look at your thoughts like too. I'm not judging you, I'm not blaming you, I'm not telling you that you're doing it wrong, I'm not blah, blah, blah. I'm just observing the fact that this is going on, and I'm staying neutral to it. I'm not allowing myself to get sucked back into all of these stories. I'm just letting them go by. Just letting them go by. If you're noticing all of this and you're observing all of this, right? You're further along than you think you are. Not that there is anything such thing as further along. As I've said in however many of my videos, I don't even know how many videos got out now. You're not trying to get anywhere. You're not trying to do anything. You're remembering. You're remembering what you are. You're remembering that you are the light of being, that you are the I Am Presence, having an experience here in form. And part of the remembrance of that is the revealing and the breaking away of the aspects that we have been playing, the masks that we have been wearing. And so noticing the masks that we are wearing is no different than just noticing and observing the thoughts that are going on around us, right? It doesn't mean that we have to attach to the thought, just like it doesn't mean that we need to put an old mask back on. We're observing that, and in observing it, that is how we are releasing it, because we're noticing it. We're not asleep to it anymore, right? It's not running in the background anymore on default. We have the awareness that this is what we're doing. We have the awareness that I am the I Am Presence. I am the I Am Presence, observing the thoughts that are coming through this avatar, through this expression. And I'm not trying to shut them down. I'm also not giving them focus. If there are past energies, past themes, past awarenesses, past conditionings, I just see them. And as soon as I see them and I notice them and I don't give them my attention or my focus, they fade. They fade away, right? So that's what I have for you guys. I hope you have an awesome day.